Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today I am doing my May book haul. I think I have about 27, 28 books to share, so once again I'm going to go through them kind of rapidly. I got most of these books for $1 or less. That's how I'm able to have so many. I did get one new book and I got some at a special library book sale that I will go over as well. So let's just get started. We're going to start off with the book that I am most excited about from this book haul, and that is War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. This is book number 4 in the Red Queen series. I love the Red Queen series. You can watch my May wrap-up to learn about the Red Queen series from this year and I believe last year. I talk about it in both of those videos. I love it. It's not as well beloved as some other series, but for me, I really like it. And this is the final conclusion. I have already started on it. It is a monster of a book. It's about 600 pages and I'm about 100 pages in. So it's gonna be like just a minute, but I got this one at Barnes & Noble. This is the only like brand new book that I picked up that wasn't a classic. Then I picked up A Confusion of Princes by Garth Nix. Let's be honest, I picked this up basically just because it was Garth Nix. I haven't read any of his other books, but I know they're really well beloved, and I got it for about 50 cents because it is an ex-library edition. Then I picked up The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake. I've been kind of eyeing this one for a little while. I believe this is an adult fiction novel, but it is a story about a lady or a girl or a woman that has the magical ability to taste other people's emotions through food. One day she's eating, I think, her mom's lemon cake, and she tastes the sadness in it, and she notices that she can taste everyone's feelings in all of their food. So this is kind of like a magical surrealism tale. I absolutely love this concept. I hope that it doesn't go down that like super dark and depressing contemporary road, which I'm not a big fan of, and stays a little bit more like whimsical and fun, but I'm really excited to read this one. Then I picked up The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows. I believe this one is historical fiction. It's also very well beloved. I don't know much about it other than the fact that people seem to adore it. Then I picked up this fabulous edition of the BFG by Roald Dahl. I have not read this one, and it's such a classic beauty. I'm really into like rereading children's books right now especially, and this one was just so lovely. I got it for, I think it was half off of $2, so it was $1, and I'm gonna read this one very soon. Then I picked up the nice big floppy paperback of Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I listened to about 1/8 of this like 4 years ago, and I really want to read it because I absolutely love the story from the TV show and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. So the only books that I get in the floppy paperback are these like extra huge books like Game of Thrones and Outlander, because they're just so hard to read in hardback. But I found this one and I'm really excited to read it. This one was kind of a unique find that I haven't really heard anybody talk about. It's Rags and Bones, New Twists and Timeless Tales, and it's got a bunch of stories from different authors. I think it's an anthology. It's got stories from Kelly Armstrong, Holly Black, Neil Gaiman, Melissa Marr, Cami Garcia, Margaret Stoll, and Rick Yancey, and things like that. So that sounds really cool, and I'm excited to read this one, especially since I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. Then I picked up 2 books in a series. This is Destined for Dune and Forever Dune by Carrie Corp and Laurie Langdon. These are just set in Ireland. It's an Ireland fantasy story. They have beautiful covers. I've never read an Ireland fantasy story before, and they just looked really fun. Was super excited to find Now I Rise by Kiersten White. This is the second book in the Andi Darkin trilogy, I think. And this is one of the books that I'm very excited to read. I know I'm saying that about all of them, but it's true. And the covers are just amazing. This is a Vlad the Impaler retelling where Vlad is actually a female. I think her name's Valera or something like that. And I haven't read the first book yet, but I'm way more pumped to do it now that I have book 2 as well. And I think book 3 is about to come out. I found Love, Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. This is of the Stargirl series. I think it's a middle grade series. It's really well beloved, Stargirl being the first book. So I started collecting this one as well. Then I picked up Catherine by April Lindner. She does retellings, and this one's supposed to be like a modernized retelling of Wuthering Heights in some sort, and it looked really neat, and I think I have her other version that's a retelling of Jane Eyre called Jane as well. And I found this rather beat up version of Going Bovine by Libba Bray, but it's not terribly beat up, and it was extremely cheap, and I can't find a lot of Libba Bray books, and I really want to read this one because it's kind of unique and different than her other stories, and she's just kind of quirky sometimes, and I really like that about her writing style. I've only read Beauty Queens by her, so this might be the next one on my list. Then I found the hardback version of The Giver, and I recently read this. I think I talk about it in my February wrap-up. I'll try and remember to link that down below, but I really enjoyed it, and now I have the hardback version of this one and Sun, which is the final one, so I just need the middle two to complete my set. Also, this is a Newbery Award winner, and I am trying to read all of the Newbery Award books by some point in the future, so it's nice to have them on hand as well. Then a little bit of a different find, I picked up Everybody's Shakespeare, Reflections chiefly on the tragedies. So this is just like stuff about Shakespeare and kind of diving a little bit deeper into his tales. I love Shakespeare. I am somewhat writing a Shakespeare retelling book right now as well, so I'm trying to get myself like motivated to finish it and reading anything involving Shakespeare. This is a non-fiction book, but it looks really fun, and it seemed to have good reviews online also. Then I found Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This one might be totally out of my league. This is an adult, somewhat like horror thriller book. It is about a girl that they believe committed suicide, but a detective in their town decides to look further into the case, and he finds out that her dad was a really famous horror occult film type director, and he thinks that that may be linked into her death. So it's supposed to be absolutely amazing. I am such a big wuss, so I hope that this is not too scary for me, but I am going to put this on my fall TBR. Then I picked up The Boy Most Likely To by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I found this in my little free library. There are little free libraries all around the country, at least in America. I'm not sure about out of the States. They're just like little huts, and people put books in them. They take them out and they put them in. I always drop some books off and then pick some things up if they're any good, and so I decided to pick up this one because I haven't read a lot of her other books. Talked about this one a little bit in my April wrap-up, but I picked up Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is the only book I spent more than $2 on, and I read it last month, and it is amazing. It's an Alice in Wonderland retelling that is just drop dead gorgeous, and it is just as beautiful on the inside as it is on its cover. I talked about this in my April wrap-up as well. This is a beautiful retelling by Marissa Meyer, who's one of my favorite authors, and yeah, so I got it. The next books I'm going to talk about I picked up at a library book sale. I mentioned them in my reading vlog that I posted like a couple weeks ago, so you can go watch that to check out the little finding of them as well. The only paperback I picked up, The Witch's Kiss by Catherine and Elizabeth Corr. This is just some kind of witchy goodness, and it was very cheap, and I like having a few paperbacks on hand to bring to the beach with me, so that's why I picked this one up. Then I picked up Crisscross by Lynn Ray Perkins. This is, I think, a middle grade book as well. Oh, actually, I know it's a middle grade book because it's a Newbery Award, and like I said, I want to try and read some of the Newbery Awards this year, and this is one that I hadn't read yet. I picked up Elias Hook by Lisa Jensen because it's got this awesome cover. I need to take it's an ex-library book, so I need to take that plastic binding off of it. But it is a Peter Pan / Captain Hook retelling, and I am going into summer. I'm all about the mermaids and the pirates, so this one will be really good for that. I already picked up Spells and Wings by April Lynn Pike. I unhauled these before I moved, but now that I have more room, I really was interested in reading them, and they're just fantasy retellings. I think they're witchy related, and they seem kind of cool. Then I found My Lady Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I've been wanting to read this one also for a little bit. Their second book, My Plain Jane, is coming out. This one is a retelling of Lady Jane Grey, but loosely like retelling and in like a funny and humorous and fun. It's supposed to be like one of the funniest books for some reason. So like fun, modernized historical fiction. And then I picked up Beast by Bree Spangler. This is kind of a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I believe it's a retelling. It might not be, but I know it's set in modern times about a boy who has some kind of deformity or something that makes him look very different from everybody else, gives him a hard time like in school and things like that, and kind of his journey and the girl that kind of helps him through that. So bear with me, that could be totally wrong, but I think that's what it's about. This is one of my favorite covers though. It is just freaking gorgeous. I don't know why, but this is just like really appealing to me. I picked up 2 Barnes & Noble edition leather-bound classics. I've been trying to read one of these a month at least. So I got Treasure Island because this might just be one of the prettiest books I've ever seen. It's gold and shiny red leather with the gold pages. It has some awesome in papers, really pretty illustrations in it, and I have never read this tale. I've watched both movies, but I have never read it, so I'm really excited to read about Long John Silver and basically one of the first original pirates' tales, so that's exciting. And then I picked up The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. This is just a bunch of different stories of Robin Hood compiled into a book by Howard Pyle. It is green leather and it has like bronze/rose gold pages. Really pretty forest in papers and also beautiful illustrations. I've never read anything about Robin Hood either, so I'm adding this one and I'm gonna get to both of these this year. I'm just not sure like which month. You guys, that is all for my May book haul. I hope that this wasn't too long. I got some excellent books in this one. Let me know if you guys have read any of these and which ones your favorite are, or let me know of some books that you guys picked up in May. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time on The Bright Side. Bye!